So I went on my soapbox about the Dallas Mavericks. I would like for you to go get on your soapbox about the
Oh,
Houston Rockets, your Houston Rockets, the What We Learned
yes,
Houston
yes.
Rockets edition king.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
they started off hot. Oh, I would say hot. They would win three, they would lose three. They would win three, they would lose three. They had like a 6-game win streak at one point. You're above 500. You're in the play-in position. You're in the playoff position at some point. You were like top 6 early on in the season.
Yeah,
You're
we
like,
were a top six,
look at
seven
this,
seed.
boys. Look at this. Look at us. Who would have thought?
Oh,
Update. Not as good anymore. At what are you,
no.
the 12 seed?
Yeah, we are the bottom of the barrel in the West.
Yeah.
Thank God there's so much of a difference in games between us and the Spurs and the Grizzlies. Well, maybe not the Grizzlies necessarily. Blazers are creeping down. Um,
They lost every game in February. They're not playing again in
yes, I
February.
did see
Every single
that.
game. Crazy.
Awesome. That's awesome. I think
Good stuff.
Shaden Sharp is going to be a max player, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
I
sure.
have it. You can look at this in so many different ways. The Rockets are in such a weird spot because we have spent so much money on mid-level players,
Yep.
and I hate to. And even at the beginning of the year, I was sitting here like trying to get myself to cope. Like, oh, we just signed Fred VanVleet for $40 million. We just signed Dylan Brooks for 20, 25, whatever it was. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is like what's happening. So the first month of the season, Dylan Brooks, Jabari was shooting really well. Fred VanVleet was kind of spotty, but you saw the spurts of potential. I don't want to say potential for a 28, 29-year-old player, but you would see spurts. Some
Yep.
improvement over some merits. And anyway, Dylan Brooks and Jabari especially, they shot really well over the first month or so. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking almost 50% from three. Dylan Brooks was in the top 5 of 3-point percentage for almost
He
a month
was.
in the
Long time.
in the beginning of the year. And Dylan Brooks has just gotten off an injury. Jabari Smith Jr. has almost fallen off a cliff this February. And you're seeing Fred VanVleet just shoot 4 for 13, 2 for 12, 2 for 10 every game. And it's great that he's a playmaker. He's a real, like, I hate to say ball handler because he doesn't have like a crazy dribble package, but he can move. He can move around the court. He can space the floor, give the ball to where it needs to go. But I just hate what's going on because you're almost seeing people, especially people on Twitter, they're saying fire Raphael Stone. That we're in shambles right now, and of course we are. We're 10-19 since January 1st.
Yep.
But the amount of youth will always give me hope with this team, and the fact that we can't definitively say, especially our top guys from the youth movement have panned out. We can't really say that that's happened yet.
No.
Jalen Green, of course, has been just all around with Twitter discourse, with zero gravity discourse, with whatever. I've even heard people talk about it in real life. It's crazy. But Jabari Smith Jr., Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore, a part of me would love to say Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün, numero uno.
There you go.
Numero uno, and that will never change. People were calling for him to get traded last night. The Rockets Twitter sucks, dude. I hate it. I had to take a step back. These guys give me so much hope for the youth movement. And we had our first nationally televised game. It felt okay when the game first started. I was like, we're gonna get shit on, but
it wasn't terrible until the last 3-4 minutes of the second quarter, and then it kind of fell apart.
No, we kept it close that first half, but
Yeah.
finally getting our first national TV game since the Trump administration, and you just shit it all out come second half is like a perfect accumulation of what this season has felt like. It's just, oh, we're there, we're almost there. Third quarter happens. Fourth quarter happens. Ime Udoka is a bad game manager. It's finally time to have conversations. We're stuck, it feels like, and I don't see any getting out of it this season. I don't know if I see any getting out of it next season unless we hit on our lottery and we get to keep our picks 1 through 4. Somehow, God willing, I think it's like a 22% that pick lands 4 to 1. And if Brooklyn keeps losing, maybe get a 7 or 8. That'd be great. Again, I know I joke and I kid that I want Reed Shepherd and Rob Dillingham, but the stars are aligning, brother. Another lottery year. But just this year, change the font a little bit. That's what it feels like. You're getting past I'd love to say 30 win mark, but at this rate, I don't know what we're doing. We'll get to 30. We'll get to 30.
Yeah.
But we're just stuck, man. It really sucks. and I just don't. I don't feel a way out. As much as I want to think and be happy and be positive, I don't feel like there's a way out. And I hope I'm wrong within a year or two.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, I was like, all right, they're going to be bad to start because they've never played with each other. New system with Ime Udoka. They're still young kids. Like Şengün's your best player, but he's 21 years old. Like, give it some time. Let's see how the season progresses. I thought by the time we got to New Year, past this Christmas Day games, I was like, all right, this is when the Rockets. This is my preseason prediction. The Rockets will start figuring it after Christmas and getting better and starting to winning a few games, and maybe they'll get to mid-30s. Maybe if they're really, really good, they'll get the 40, 41 wins, like
Right.
just exceeding expectations. And it's gone the complete opposite. You were like decent at the beginning, first month, 2 months, and you're like, okay, Rockets aren't the worst. Like they're not bad actually. They could be a play-in team, like, and they'd be an annoying play-in team because they play defense and
Oh
they
yeah.
have Şengün. Like they would be a nuance to the Mavericks or the Suns or the Lakers or whoever, but I would assume that those teams would move on to the next playing game and then
Right.
to the actual playoffs. But yeah, it's gone the complete opposite. So I feel for Rockets fans. It sucks. I know Knicks fans kind of just went through this for a while. Julius Randle was their big signing back in 2018, 2019, maybe it was 2019, the Kevin Durant year. They get him in, and then they have some more draft picks. Like Emmanuel quickly joins, Mitchell Robinson starts progressing, RJ Barrett even started progressing. You're like, okay, some young kids and Julius Randle, like this is fine, this is okay. And then they started winning more games. Tom Thibodeau's system started to work, and then it stopped working essentially. And then all of a sudden, Jalen Brunson gets there, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, now OG Anunoby. Like they're in a great spot when they're healthy. They're not healthy right now, but tremendous spot, and they're in the East. So I think that's kind of where the Rockets are at, but they added Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks instead of OG and Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. PU all
and
around.
They were further ahead when they added Jalen Brunson. So
Right.
and OG. So like the Knicks were in a better spot when they got those players than I think the Rockets might have rushed it. Like I could see you wanting to sign Dylan Brooks because he plays defense. I'm sure Ime loves him on the court when he plays defense and actually hits threes. He's not doing either of those. Ime probably hates everyone on the team right now. He's probably just yelling at every single person. But yeah, it's not great right now. I think you rushed the process a little bit, if you will. You don't have to add Fred VanVleet for $20-25 million more than Kyrie Irving is getting paid over a contract.
I remember right when that happened, I was like, okay, I can see why we're doing this, but I would have had much more. I would have been much more excited to see the young guys pass the ball around and like actually feel like they were enjoying themselves. I think I told you this off air a couple weeks ago. The Rockets, when they were really bad under Silas, I'm not saying it was good basketball. It wasn't. But seeing every quarter or so that big shining moment of a crazy lob or it made you just feel like something was happening. I don't care if we were down 30 to the Pelicans or whatever the case was, but
right.
You know, in this situation, you're right. We definitely did rush it, and I don't really know what we can do to kind of get out of this situation other than just ride it out. There's no other option really, unless you trade away some shitty contracts and Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet and get next to nothing, or have to give up more stuff for nothing. Yeah. We're stuck. We just got to thug it out. This sucks. I truly hate it.
At least you have picks, and
sure
you have Brooklyn's picks, and then you have potentially your pick if it falls in the top 4 in the lottery this summer. So
yeah,
I don't know. You can still look at the upside, I guess. You have at least one lottery pick because the Nets aren't going to make the playoffs, so you'll have one.
Yeah. I'm grasping at straws. I'm really trying. I'm trying to smile through it all. I can't believe this is my life.
It's gross. I feel bad for y'all, kind of. But I want that rivalry back. I know I said it the other day.
I'm telling you.
We need that. We need the Texas rivalry. Just get the 3 teams, the triangle of Texas teams, and just full of hatred. I need it.
Oh, yeah.